Welcome to my show, simply entitled Women Influencers, where you will find inspirational stories of successful women in male-dominated industries. I am Veronica Malolos, CCIM, founder and CEO of the Capstack Group of companies, providing commercial real estate development, brokerage, and property management services in the greater Orlando area. Today's guest is Dolly Elizondo, single mom and educator turned fabulously successful real estate developer in her hometown in Texas. A story you don't want to miss. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe below. I welcome your comments and please share with someone who can benefit from this podcast. Hello, Dolly. How are you today?
Hi, doing well. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I know that we met through a leadership academy with CCIM, and I just absolutely love your story. And I thought I
Thank
have to
you.
get Dolly on the show. So I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you're here. Thank you for being here today. I'm just going to jump right in if you don't mind. I wanted
Sure.
to ask you about your story, how you grew up in your environment, and how you got to where you are today.
Well, I like to always say that the reality of my life are far, far exceeding the dreams I had as a child. I grew up in Mission, Texas, a border town, had a wonderful childhood, was brought up with a lot of love and support from my family. My mother had a 37-year career as an elementary school teacher. So if you can imagine the child of a school district employee, had all kinds of eyes on her, but at the same time, support and love. I'm a hometown girl, is what I like to say, um, and it shows. I have my business here. I went to public school, all my life. I went to college in our county, which is Hidalgo County. We're a border county. I became a teacher like my mother. She was and is still my mentor. Uh, so the place that I'm at right now is very far from where I started, and it's amazingly blessed. Amazingly blessed.
Right after college, or you decided to pursue real estate?
Yes, and it was a result of a divorce.
Hmm.
I got a part-time job in real estate. I have two children, two daughters, and back then, when I went through that divorce, I decided that being a single parent was in need of different types of resources, emotionally, financially, to raise two daughters on my own. And real estate was a part-time job.
Mm.
But a few years went by and I compared, the financial status of a teacher versus part-time work in real estate. And that led me down the road of leaving the career that I had studied for. I have a master's degree, uh, to jump into real estate full time.
Yeah, and tell us about the story of how you got into real estate development, because to me, that's just super exciting.
Well, so the trajectory of getting into real estate completely, you have to step back and look at your situation. Uh, Being a teacher, obviously, your retirement pension is set up. You have great health benefits. You have summers off. It's a safety net, in a way. And going from that to real estate, where you create your own paycheck, you sometimes, if you're fortunate enough, you can afford staff, and now you are responsible for other people. So you are, making it rain for everyone around you. You create your own retirement. We don't. There's no state pension for realtors or national pension for realtors. We make it happen all on our own, and so I was top producer at my brokerage, and I did have a client who I represented in purchasing land and land acquisitions. And I, was invited to present his financial package when he was going out for a loan for development. And I accidentally kind of peeked over and looked at his report as he was speaking to the bankers, and I saw his profit margin. And I thought to myself, well, how do I do that? What I need to be in that position, you
Mm.
know? Um, we as realtors have the opportunity to delve into everything: sales, investments, um, consulting. There's just a lot of different areas. And why not development? That's what I wanted to do. So I decided that a cash buying client that I had needed to partner up with me to do development. And I didn't really know about development, but I had an extensive background in education, and I parked myself at the local library, well, the university library. And I'm going to date myself, but back then, we used microfiche. We didn't have Google or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I learned everything I could about development, and I sat down with this client, cash buying client, investor, and I said, we need to develop. I have some information, that the school district is going out for um, bids to create bonds to build new schools, and this is a wonderful opportunity for us to develop. Uh, this client trusted me. He was able to discuss the whole financial outcome. I prepared reports for him on the profit margin, a return of our investment, and we did our first development. And 23 years later, him and his wife and I are still partners,
Wow.
and we are on our 17th development, and we have worked very well together. And it's just something that it wasn't easy to do. I will tell you that the game changer in the dynamics of the partnership came after I became a CCIM,
Mm.
um, which and I know, but for the audience sake, is the PhD in real estate. We analyze a project from the inception of the site selection all the way to the disposition, minus your tax commitment and sales, and just we can analyze everything out of a project and present it that way and come close to it every single time. And that's why we've remained partners, because I'm able to present that data to my partners and
Yeah.
and bring it all the way to fruition. We just closed on 66 multifamily lots in a project called Las Esperanzas, uh, and we closed the 66 lots in 90 days. My
Mm.
projection was to close the lots in maybe 16 months. So we saved a lot of money in tax liabilities and whatnot. But that's just an example of where I'm at today compared to top sales back 28 years ago when I started. So
Well, I'm super impressed and certainly very, very amazed at the way that you built yourself up just by asking. And you armed yourself with great education, and here you are, successful developer in Texas. So let me
thank you.
ask you a question. If there was one challenge that comes to mind and how you overcame it, what would that be?
Single motherhood. It resonates different for women in the workplace. We are mothers, we're daughters, we're aunties. There's a lot that comes with being a woman, a lot of responsibilities. And of course the dynamic is partners who come together, husband and wife, and you have double income families, but single motherhood is so unique in that you have the responsibilities of two parents. You have the responsibilities of again, being a daughter of a Hispanic family, being a sister, being an auntie. That was the biggest obstacle for me, because taking the time to cultivate the land development business at the same time you're running a household and raising children, it's an extraordinary thing. And
Sure.
I to this day, I don't know how I did it. I just used every time management tool I could think of, or get my hands on. Back then, I believe it was Franklin Covey's True North system that I used, and put my head down and just committed to, um, again, the dream that I wanted to live. And part of that was financial freedom. I had to create that on my own. And I
Yeah.
think that was the single most obstacle that I had.
I was a single mom at one point,
Oh, okay.
and I remarried. You didn't. And it's a different journey for everybody, but
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
so very inspiring to hear you say that the way that you overcame that was that not just by realizing that your priorities are a little bit heavier because you don't have a partner, but that you really immersed yourself through time management, right? Really good time
Yes.
management to
Yes.
be able to handle all your responsibilities for. So thank
Yes.
you for sharing that. So I wanted to ask you about influence. If there was one outcome that you're most proud of that you had influence on, what would that be?
I originally and still am in love with teaching. I have a teacher's heart. Early on, and I received my CCIM in 2003. I was the first. CCIM notified me that I was the first female Latina south of San Antonio, Texas. So geographically, that's 4 hours north of me right now, who received the designation. And shortly after I received the designation, I'd say about a year later, there was a young woman who wrote a postcard to me, and I received it at my office. Uh, this was before email was popular. We actually took pen to paper. And I still have the postcard framed in my office. And she went on to tell me that she was a single mom herself, and that she was wanting to become a CCIM. The courses were very time consuming and expensive, but because she read that a Latina single mom from the Rio Grande Valley had received the certification, she was going to go through it and she was going to commit to it. And to me, that was just an eye opener. I did not realize that I was now an example to other young women, and really touched my heart. We ended up talking a bit. I did give her some pointers, on the first classes. I remember we had a long conversation about the calculator, but she did finish. She became a CCIM, has since left the profession for different reasons, a different journey than us. But it was truly impactful to me that other people are, other women especially, are watching. I
Yeah.
have, and I have mentored a couple of gentlemen here in the Rio Grande Valley through the program, and they have received the pin as well. But it's truly impactful to know that you are leaving your footprint on someone.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, boy, first Latina woman CCIM. I mean, you should be so proud. I mean, that's, and you're in
Thank you.
Texas. And to
Thank
think
you.
you're the first, I mean, it's just
Yeah,
pretty incredible. It is a very male dominated industry. And
absolutely.
considering the fact that, you're self made, I mean, truly the best example of self made, and you have a heart for others. And it's really amazing to me how you can inspire others without even knowing you've done that just by being you. So, congratulations. I
Thank you.
love that. I love that. If there was one piece of advice that you could give to our audience today, Dolly, what would that be?
I like to always say that iron sharpens iron. Surround yourself with people in the know. Ask questions. Do not be afraid to tap on someone's shoulder and ask those important questions. I spoke 2 days ago, Monday, at a woman empowerment conference in my hometown. And after the speech, I had several women come up to me, and I was elated that they asked me for my phone number or my business card. And I have a question for you. Would you mind if I called? Uh, and that's what you need to do, is exactly that. There were maybe 100 people in the room, and two or three did come up to me, and just one person coming up to you is mind blowing that you would have something to give back. I'm just glad that I do, and I'm glad that I'm being approached. And I would advise anyone else, male or female, to do that. Surround yourself with someone who is doing what you want to do. They're going to take the time to teach you and to give you the right answers.
I couldn't agree with you more, Dolly. And I always teach my kids about the power of asking.
Oh, yes. Yes.
If you don't ask, you'll never get a yes or a no. And we assume a no anyway. So why don't you just ask? Maybe you'll get a yes, right?
Mhm.
And that's what you did with
Exactly.
your
Yes.
partners. Yeah,
Yes.
well, it's pretty amazing. We've come to the time where I get to pass on the mic to you and you get to ask me a
Okay.
question. So I'm so
Great.
excited. Go ahead.
So I said, I'm a time management person, and I'm always curious how others start their morning. What is their morning routine? How do they set themselves up for a productive day? And so, Veronica, I would ask you, how do you start your day?
Quite calmly, actually, because I'm a very meditative person. And thank you for that question. I'm a very meditative person. And if my first meeting is at 7:30, I will get up like at 6 o'clock because I need to be able to get into my day. Right. So my morning routine usually is I wake up calmly, and I try not to think of what's ahead, except that I know that I woke up a certain time because I have a responsibility an hour and a half later. And I
Mhm.
start with gratefulness. I really do.
Oh, that's
I
beautiful.
I pray and I meditate, and I will make 2 cups of espresso because I have to wake up.
There's the magic.
Yes, and I usually have a very quiet morning. And even my husband actually wakes up a lot earlier than me every day.
Uh-huh.
So he's usually out already, but I'm alone. And if he's there, he knows to leave me alone because I'm very meditative in the morning. And
Oh, beautiful.
I try to pray for wisdom every day, because I think that if I don't pray for wisdom, I'd be relying on my own faulty thoughts. I say
Mhm.
faulty, kind of,
No.
speech, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes.
Here's the other thing that I do. I have openness. So I usually would look out my window, and we have a lakefront property, so it's really beautiful to look out there. And I say things like, I am open for opportunity. I'm
Oh,
open to
wow. That's
receive blessing.
mhm. That's
Whatever the
beautiful.
blessing is,
Mhm.
I'm open to it. Right. And that also makes me throughout the day cognizant of opportunity,
Mhm.
because somebody might say something to me and I'm thinking, okay, I think that's a great opportunity for something. Right. And because I asked for the blessing,
Mhm.
I always want to start my day saying thank you.
And how beautiful. I could just imagine that scenery water,
Yeah.
sitting down, having your espresso, open to wisdom and gratefulness. That's
Yeah,
beautiful. That's
thank you.
beautiful.
And a lot of people rely on me for guidance. And so I always pray for wisdom because
That's
they
wonderful.
rely on me and I don't have the answers to everything. But guess
Mhm.
what? If you pray for wisdom, he will give it to you.
That's
So,
amazing. Well,
yeah.
wonderful.
So,
I like that.
thank you. Thank you for the question. Nobody asked me that. I was telling you, I have 65 guests and nobody's ever asked me that. So thank you. And that tells me that you and I are the same kind of person
I believe so.
because those are the things that are important. At
Yes,
least,
definitely.
to you and me, I can tell. Well, I want to thank you for being here with me today. I know you're all the way out in Texas. You're like an hour behind me. But do you have any parting words for our audience today?
I want to say to your audience, let's go.
Mm.
Go for it. Mhm.
I love it. I love it. And you and I are kind of cut from the same cloth like that. I love that so much. Well, I want to thank you again, Dolly. And
And
if
thank
people want
you
to,
for having me.
oh, absolutely.
It
And
was
I'll
a
see you
pleasure.
tomorrow, actually. I'll see you tomorrow
Yes.
in Miami. But if they wanted to find you, maybe another Latina woman or man, somebody you've inspired out there wants to get in touch with you, how could they do that?
You can check out my LinkedIn file, or you can go to dollyelizondo.com. The link is also connected to LinkedIn.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dolly.
Thank
And
you.
safe travels tomorrow. I'll do the same and I'll see
You
you
too.
tomorrow afternoon. All
Bye.
right. Take care. Bye.